Pinecrest, Florida. Jonathan James is 24 years old now. He doesn't go to college. He doesn't have a job. His mother died of breast cancer 6 years ago. Together with his brother, he still lives in the house he grew up in. He apparently suffers from depression. Overall, he's living a withdrawn life and is retired from hacking. But today, he'll get another surprise visit. This time, it's the Secret Service. They raid the family's house, just like the FBI had done 8 years ago. They drew a connection from Gonzalez to Christopher Scott to him. They suspect that JJ is short for Jonathan James, and that he's part of the hacker group. The agents go through Jonathan's stuff. They find a suicide note he had written years ago, and a gun. We don't know if the agents offer him psychological help, but according to Jonathan, they don't confiscate the weapon. Jonathan is shocked. He swears that he has nothing to do with the TJX case. What's going on? On the subpoena, he's able to find some answers. He reads about this guy, Albert Gonzalez. Jonathan recognizes him by another nickname he used online. Gonzalez has been working as an informant for the feds since 2003. For 5 years, Gonzalez used Scott to pull off his hacks, while simultaneously ratting out other hackers to the feds to stay in their good graces. Jonathan is sure that Gonzalez is now trying to pin the hacks on Scott. And he is getting a bad feeling. He thinks that he'll be a much more appealing target than Chris. It might not matter to the feds that he's innocent, even though, in his words, Scott and Gonzalez are the most destructive, dangerous hackers the feds ever caught. They'll let them off easy because he's a juicier target. That would please the public more. In Jonathan's mind, the picture is clear. They need a scapegoat. Not Gonzalez, not Scott, not the one who actually caused the damage, but him, Jonathan. In his words, the feds played dirty. He holds these beliefs for a reason. There's this paper that has made rounds in the hacker scene, Agent Steele's Guide to Getting Busted. It's basically a survival guide for hackers, written by one who ended up in prison. Agent Steele's real name was Justin Tanner Peterson. He was an American hacker who worked as an informant for the feds while continuing to commit crimes. Agent Steele writes, "The criminal justice system is a game to be played, both by prosecution and defense. And if you have to be a player, you'd be wise to learn the rules of engagement." He makes it clear that law enforcement isn't always fair. They play dirty and will do just about anything, including lie, to win their case. Jonathan read this guide, and he knows that Gonzalez is working with the feds, so he's convinced he's going to prison, even though he's innocent. The first time was already terrifying. He doesn't want to go through that again. On May 18th, 2008, 2 weeks after agents raided his home, Jonathan was found dead in his home after a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He wrote a note. There are messages to his family and friends, passwords to his accounts. In this letter, he also expresses his opinion on the authorities. He writes, "I have no faith in the justice system. Perhaps my actions today, and this letter, will send a stronger message to the public. Either way, I have lost control over the situation, and this is my only way to regain control. Remember, it's not whether you win or lose, it's whether I win or lose. And sitting in jail for 20, 10, or even 5 years for a crime I didn't commit is not me winning. I die free." In March 2010, Albert Gonzalez was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison for his role in a series of hacks. In the backyard of his parents, the Secret Service seized a barrel containing $1.2 million in cash. Christopher Scott was sentenced to 7 years in prison for his role in the attacks. It's likely that the pseudonym JJ didn't refer to Jonathan James, but rather to Stephen Watt, another figure convicted in the TJX case, who was known to use the alias Jim Jones online. At the point of his death, Jonathan neither had been arrested, charged, tried, nor sentenced. It seems like knowing that Gonzalez had worked with the Secret Service fueled Jonathan's fear to become a scapegoat and end up in prison. Jonathan James wasn't some criminal mastermind. He was a teenager with a rare talent and a deep curiosity for how systems work. After he hacked into them, he often offered to help fix them. Instead of guiding such talents, helping to channel them into something good, the justice system decided to make an example out of him. This is 33 Thomas Street, right in the heart of Manhattan. A towering, windowless monolith, pitch black at night. A 20th century fortress, built to withstand a nuclear blast. A skyscraper to be inhabited by machines. Behind its walls lies a secret mass surveillance center. It's believed to be one of the NSA's most critical spy hubs on US soil. It's a key location for some of the agency's biggest operations. From here, the agency has been spying on the entire world. For decades, its true purpose was hidden, until two whistleblowers pulled back the curtain. We got up close to this mysterious structure and couldn't resist trying to sneak inside.
The security guard is still there. She has not moved.
This is the insane story of the NSA spy scraper. Parts of this video are based on investigative reporting by The Intercept. We highly recommend checking it out.
I am off the subway and I am now heading to the building. Oh, actually, I see it right now, and it is huge.
We wanted to know everything about this building, so we sent a friend to check it out.
Hi, I'm Sharik, and I am a filmmaker. Today, I am about to go check out 33 Thomas Street. So I am heading there now, and I'm taking you guys with me.
Sharik is probably on some list now, so show her some love in the comments.
Do you know what's in this building? I'm like, no idea. You don't? Okay.
I've always thought about this building. There's no windows, there's only like vents. I don't know what it is. It's kind of strange. I have no clue.
Some people think it might be the NSA, like on one of like the biggest surveillance hubs.
Yeah, it probably is.
33 Thomas Street is unlike any other building in Manhattan. The skyscraper is located here, in the Tribeca area. It was built in 1969 and completed in 1974. While it's not as tall as many of the other towers around, it still stands out. The building is about 170 meters tall, with 29 floors above the ground, plus 3 underground levels. There's a strange beauty to its design, fascinating enough that it draws you in, yet so intimidating it makes you uncomfortable. When you stand before it, one thing immediately stands out. It is entirely windowless.
This building literally has no windows. Like, it's very odd. Also, there's just really not a lot of people on this street, like, at all.
Peeking inside is almost impossible. On levels 10 and 29, there are several large openings, massive air vents that hint at what might be going on inside. 33 Thomas Street is often described as one of the most secure buildings in the US. The facade is sealed with flame-treated Swedish granite, a material known for its exceptional durability and resistance. In the event of a disaster, the building can operate entirely off-grid for 2 weeks. Almost 1 million liters of fuel are on hand to power backup generators. Food and water reserves are stocked to sustain 1,500 people. It's also equipped with its own wastewater systems and decontamination showers. If an atomic blast would hit New York City without destroying the building, the inside would be shielded from the nuclear fallout. 33 Thomas Street truly is a 20th century fortress. John Carl Warnock, the architect behind it, was best known for designing bold, unconventional buildings in the 60s and 70s. This is what his other buildings look like. The style is called brutalism, a design philosophy centered on raw materials, stark geometric shapes, and function. Brutalism emerged after World War II, driven by the need for affordable, practical structures. Warnock was also influenced by contextualism, an architectural theory focused on harmonizing buildings with their surroundings. 33 Thomas Street, however, doesn't blend in, it haunts. By day, it stands out. By night, it becomes a shadow, almost vanishing into the darkness.
So I came back at night and I wanted to see if this place was still as spooky as it is during the day. And it absolutely is.
But what was it actually built for? It's the late 1960s. As the world becomes more connected, the demand for efficient telecommunication is expanding rapidly. Most communication still runs through analog systems, but that technology is reaching its limit, especially for long-distance phone calls. There's a need for something new. Time to escape old physical boundaries and technological limitations. Kind of, like working remotely. away from your machine while still being able to access it with no lag, even in poor Wi-Fi conditions. Transfer files, edit your videos in a nice cafe, watch a render fail in immeasurable frustration from a beach chair. With AnyDesk, you can access any device from anywhere. The connection is so fast, it feels like you're sitting right in front of the remote machine. And it works on every platform: Windows, macOS, Linux, even Apple TV, and many more. AnyDesk also has a range of industry-standard security features, things you might never think about, but that are essential. AnyDesk doesn't collect your data, it's lightweight, privacy-focused, and built for performance. We use it all the time to escape our YouTuber basements and touch some grass for once. It never lets us down. You should really give it a shot. Try AnyDesk for free at anydesk.com/fern and maintain control of your devices, anytime, anywhere. At the time, most long-distance calls in the US are carried out by AT&T, one of the country's largest telecommunications giants. The company has a special division called the Long Lines Department.
In any case, it's Long Lines that hooks all the local telephone companies into the national network.
Its infrastructure stretches across the entire country, connecting people from New York to Los Angeles. In order to meet the growing demand for long-distance phone calls, new data centers are needed to route calls from one place to another. As AT&T's network keeps growing, 33 Thomas Street is set to become one of the company's most important hubs in the US, capable of processing millions of phone calls per day. Over time, the building becomes part of the Long Lines Department, earning its other nickname, the Long Lines Building. In some of Warnick's original design documents, the building is simply referred to as Project X, a visionary monument with modern capabilities, with architecture that perfectly serves the needs of machines. And unlike humans, machines don't need windows, just powerful ventilation systems to handle the heat they generate and keep temperatures stable. 33 Thomas Street is packed with tech. These are some of the only publicly available photos taken inside the building. Racks filled with electronics, rooms packed with telephone equipment, massive rows of batteries, likely part of the backup power system. At the heart of it all, 3 enormous 4ESS switches. Each switch is made up of multiple individual machines. At the time, they are the largest high-capacity digital switches ever built, and the first system to route phone calls digitally. This is how they work. Imagine you live in New York and you want to call your niece in California. When you pick up the phone and dial her number, your local phone system routes the call to a central hub, in this case, 33 Thomas Street. Inside, your voice is digitized and passed through a switch that sends the calls to its destination. The 4ESS switching machines are smart. They automatically select the best path to route your call across the network, a major innovation back then. Now the backbone takes over. Microwave relay towers transmit the signal from one to the next, spaced roughly 30 miles apart. Your call hops from tower to tower until it reaches another hub, with the same type of switch in California. At the end of the line, your niece picks up, and just like that, you're connected. Over time, the relay towers vanished. Fiber optic cables took over, carrying much more capacity, but the need for central hubs remained. By the 1990s, an average of 175 million calls per day passed through 33 Thomas Street. With millions in and around New York City increasingly depending on uninterrupted communication, this facility had to be absolutely secure. The Long Lines building became the nerve center of communication in New York City. In fact, it became indispensable. September 17, 1991, the middle of the night. A power failure at 33 Thomas Street shuts down half the phone traffic. Calls in and out of New York go dead. Air traffic control also goes down at 3 major airports. Flights are thrown into chaos, some delayed by as much as 4 hours. The power failure was caused by a combination of technical and human error. 2 4ESS switches shut down completely. A third is partially affected. Of course, 33 Thomas Street is prepared for this, or at least should be. But due to yet another technical failure, the backup generators don't kick in. As a result, over 5 million calls are blocked, and air traffic communication to nearly 400 airports is disrupted. On this day, 33 Thomas Street proves just how critical it is to the nation's telephone infrastructure. Sure would be nice to tap that. 9/11 changes the US forever. In response, the government doubles down on the war on terror. Within days, the Patriot Act passes, granting intelligence agencies broad powers to expand mass surveillance. The NSA's primary role is to gather foreign intelligence, but to do that, they need partners. It's 2003. This is Mark Klein, a technician at AT&T. His job is to maintain equipment at one of the company's internet and telephone hubs in San Francisco. One day he notices something strange on the floor below, a door with no handles. It just has a sign on it, 641A. The room sits directly below the 7th floor server room, where internet traffic from millions of people flows every day. Klein is curious. He wants to know what's behind that door. Eventually he comes across the building plans, and slowly he starts putting the pieces together. Room 641A is wired directly to the internet room upstairs. Klein discovers that it houses a device known as a splitter. A splitter copies internet traffic, the very data flowing through the servers above. Emails, phone calls, pictures, videos, the communications of millions, all duplicated and sent into room 641A. Mark Klein realizes he's uncovered something huge, but for now he stays silent. He's scared, and unsure if anyone would even believe him. In 2005, news breaks. President George W. Bush has quietly authorized the NSA to spy on American citizens. This is the moment Mark Klein decides to go public. With the help of a digital rights group, he files a class action lawsuit against AT&T on behalf of everyone whose data was secretly monitored. But in 2008, the case gets dismissed. Congress passes the FISA Amendments Act, a law that retroactively legalizes the surveillance program and grants AT&T legal immunity. Still, Klein's actions leave a mark. He exposed Room 641A and revealed that AT&T was helping the US government spy on its own customers. And his revelations are just the beginning, the calm before a much greater storm. In 2013, a 29-year-old NSA analyst tells his supervisors he's taking a couple of weeks off. He says it's for epilepsy treatment. In reality, he boards a plane to Hong Kong. Here he will leak top-secret NSA files to the press and inform the public about sweeping privacy violations.
Former CIA employee and computer
The U.S. is on the hunt. Top secret information about the U.S. NSA leaker Edward Snowden.
Edward Snowden shares thousands of classified documents with journalists, highly sensitive material that offers a rare look inside the NSA surveillance machine. The Snowden files reveal something staggering. The NSA hasn't just been spying on U.S. citizens, but also on politicians, allies, foreign governments, and even world leaders. A global scandal erupts, exposing the vast scope of the agency's mass surveillance program. Journalists around the world begin working together, combing through the documents and gradually releasing them to the public. Over the following years, pieces of the puzzle come together, one at a time. And in 2016, reporters at The Intercept go public with a shocking discovery. Intelligence agencies use codenames to conceal sensitive operations. In the leaked NSA files, some of these codenames appear again and again. One of them is Blarney, a surveillance program focused on intercepting foreign communications flowing into the US. Another program is called Fairview, a partnership between the NSA and a major unnamed US telecom operation. And then there's this, Titan Point. The leaked files identified Titan Point as a secret NSA surveillance site, hidden in the heart of New York City. Titan Point appears to house highly specialized technology, including so-called foreign gateway switches, with RIMROC access. RIMROC is code for 4 ESS switches. And then there's Lithium. According to the files, Lithium is a partner responsible for supervising Titan Point. Earlier reporting had already revealed what Lithium really stands for, AT&T, the owner of 33 Thomas Street. Journalists at The Intercept start connecting the dots, and they conclude that Titan Point is a codename for the Long Lines building. Their investigation reveals that NSA has been using 33 Thomas Street as a major mass surveillance site. The building even shows up in a leaked travel guide meant for NSA agents. They're told to prepare cover stories for both family members and co-workers. Agents must also use a cover vehicle provided by the agency when visiting a site like 33 Thomas Street. According to the handbook, the NSA works closely with the FBI, which handles security at Titan Point. Conveniently, the FBI has offices right next to the skyscraper.
So here is 33 Thomas Street, and there is the FBI building.
The guide also describes how to enter the building. You literally just ring the buzzer.
This is an intercom here, and it's locked.
And I was told I could not, and I cannot take any videos from the front.
Sharik actually caught someone leaving the building.
Hi! Can I ask you a quick question just for 1 minute?
This is the first time I've ever been in this building. There's actually not supposed to be people in here. I just went inside and that was like the first thing I noticed. I was like, where's natural light? I don't, people may notice my voice, but I'll just say this much. I think there's only a few people in there and it was pretty much empty.
Probably just a random person, or an NSA agent with their cover story on lock. We will never know. But what exactly is the NSA doing here? According to The Intercept, there's a hidden room inside 33 Thomas Street, one that closely resembles room 641A. In the Snowden leaks, it's referred to as a Sensitive Compartmented Information Facility, or SCIF for short. This room enables the NSA to tap into virtually all communications passing through the building. First, there are the 4 ESS switches inside the building, the routers that process millions of phone calls each day. Then, if you look at the rooftop of the building, you'll see massive satellite dishes. It's the only location in New York City where AT&T holds an official license for satellite earth stations. These dishes are likely part of Skid Row, a surveillance system designed to intercept internet data passing between satellites. They most likely capture video calls and video conferences. All intercepted data is funneled through an AT&T interface, then sent directly to NSA headquarters in Maryland. The NSA can then access it through a system called X-Key Score.
I can see who you talked to. I can see who your friends on Facebook are. I can see the text messages you sent. I can read the emails you wrote.
The NSA has developed its own search engine, a kind of Google for spies. X-Key